If someone had told me that the clothes I wore would become the reason my whole life turned upside down, I would have laughed. But now I know better. Some things in life are not just strange, they are spiritual. That's how I begin my story. My name is Adora, a 24-year-old final year student at the University of Lagos. Before everything changed, I was known for one thing: good luck. Things naturally worked in my favor. I got scholarships I didn't apply for, my business ideas clicked fast. People just liked me and everything I touched turned to gold. Life wasn't perfect, but it was sweet. I lived in an off-campus apartment with my roommate Chisholm, a quiet girl from Enugu. She came from a humble background, always kept to herself, didn't have many friends, and barely posted on social media. But there was one thing I noticed about Chisholm. She watched me a lot. I always caught her staring at me when I wasn't looking. At first, I thought she admired me or maybe she just wanted to be close. But before I realized that our silence wasn't ordinary, everything changed in January. A moment I used to love because it always came with new opportunities. That year, however, it was different. It started with a dream. In the dream, I was standing in the middle of a market, not a normal one, but a dark smoky market with people wearing animal skins and talking in whispers. I held a small bag of gold in my hand. But just as I turned to leave, a woman in a red wrapper snatched it from me and ran into the smoke. I woke up sweating. At first, I thought it was just a dream. But that same week, I lost my first ever brand deal. Then the scholarship committee emailed me and said they made a mistake. And the grant I received last semester was meant for someone else. I had to pay the school back or I wouldn't graduate. My small skincare business started receiving bad reviews overnight and customers disappeared. I was confused. How could everything be going wrong at the same time? The second dream came a few nights later. This time I was naked standing in front of a mirror. But when I looked at my reflection, it wasn't me. It was Chisholm. She was wearing my favorite green dress and smiling at me in the mirror. I screamed and woke up again. From that day, I started watching her closely. She had changed. She started wearing clothes she never wore before. My clothes. I'll see them hanging to dry on the back and I knew I hadn't washed them. I began to feel dizzy whenever she was around. Sometimes I would feel a strong headache the moment she entered the room. I started locking my wardrobe, but somehow she still found a way to use my things. Then came the day I knew something spiritual was happening. One Sunday evening, I was washing my clothes in the backyard. I had stepped inside briefly to take a call. By the time I came out, my pile of dirty clothes were gone. I looked around and I found them at another corner in the backyard. Not in the same way I left them. They had been turned inside out, wet, twisted in knots, and laid in a pattern that looked like a circle. I felt cold. I asked Tyson if she touched them. She said no without even blinking. From that moment, I knew I had to talk to someone. I called my cousin Yugochi, who had once told me about a spiritual woman her mother trusted in ABA. She wasn't just a prophetess. She was gifted with dreams and visions. I traveled that weekend. The moment I stepped into Mama Jama's house, she looked at me, sighed deeply, and said, "Your star is hanging by a thread, and someone close to you is exchanging her dryness for your abundance. She's using your energy to rise while your own life is going down." I sat down. My hands were shaking. "I didn't say anything about you soon," but the woman continued. "She's quiet, always watching. Makes your dirty clothes, your underwear, your hair from the bathroom floor. That's all she needs to tie your destiny to hers. You dream of losing things, right? That's because she's collecting them from you in the spiritual." I broke down in tears. The woman gave me a small bottle of oil and said I should return an observer. "Don't fight yet," she warned. If you act too early, she will bury your glory for good. When I returned to Lagos, I began observing Chisholm like a hawk. One night, I pretended to be asleep. I watched as she crept over to my laundry basket, took out my used singlet, and wrapped it in a black nylon. Then, she quickly tiptoed out of the room. I followed her silently. She didn't go far, just to the back of our compound near the small, uncompleted building. I watched behind the wall as she buried the nylon under a stone. Then she whispered something in a language I didn't understand. That night I cried myself to sleep. The next morning I pretended like nothing happened, but I knew I had to do something, and soon my dreams were getting worse. My skin started breaking out and I lost weight drastically. People who once liked me started avoiding me. Chisholm, on the other hand, started glowing. She was getting more confident, buying wigs, posting on social media, even getting attention from guys on campus.